Hey, welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology, guys. I appreciate you showing up for these videos, and definitely love each and every one of you for showing up and continually just listening to them. And if you're liking these videos, guys, do me a favor and just hit that like button and subscribe and notifications. Leave some comments. The algorithms love that, so definitely help me out. And let's get on with this video. So we've been talking about the grid. We've been talking about what our path, what directions we're going to take in life if we don't know. We know how to take responsibility for those thoughts, actions, and emotions. And today we're going to continue on a little bit about what does it mean to be responsible. And when I'm saying responsible for your thoughts, actions, and emotions, this is what we're talking about today, is being responsible for those thoughts. Now, in the following video, I'm going to have where we continue on with the grid for a little bit to break it down even further into about 6 steps that you can take for each one. That'll help clarify what your direction could be. All right? For now, we're going to look at episode 12 here, and then what does it mean to be responsible? Move my picture. All right, so we're going to get a little philosophical. We're going to get a little deep today. And hopefully it's not too deep for you. I'm trying to keep it a little more heart-based, and I know it sounds illogical the way I explain things, but it's just how my brain does it, but it's all done from my heart. So, who are you? When you speak, where does the sound originate? The voice or the ear? Is it where the voice is coming out? Because if someone's deaf, they can't hear you. They may be able to feel vibration, but they can't hear you. You may not understand what you're saying. But is sound or reality met when you hear it, when your ear hears it, right? So if your ear hears it, is that the first of reality? No, it's the end product. It's where those vibrations are coming from. It's when you decide, when your ears decide to open up, they took in that vibration, and the hairs or the villi inside of your cilia inside of your ears, you went ahead and felt that and registered, and a little drum anvil banged on the eardrum, and you were able to hear or make sense out of stuff. So the point I'm trying to make is that before it comes to you, or before it manifests inside your world, inside your internal world, and it comes to the exoteric world or the outside world, it came from somewhere. Right? We've talked about this in some of the videos past, but we're going to delve a little deeper, as I said I would in the videos previous. So, where do you originate? We are the ear, if you will, in this reality, and we're hearing things, but instead of hearing it, we're beginning to see things. We're seeing them manifested, but where did that vibration come from? That's the origination. The origination is senseless, nothing to register. No ears, no eyes, no feelings, nothing. There's just a vibration, right? And if we look, and it's empty, right? Even though it's vibratory, it's empty in one sense. This emptiness is what we are. We are an empty vessel, right? And every morning you wake up, we are this empty vessel, and we fill it up every day. And we continually fill it up every day, and it attracts like energy. So if I say, hey, I want another cup of coffee, or another cup of this thought, then I'm going to fill up with that thought. Right? Every day you wake up, it's a new thought. It's a new vessel. It's a new cup ready to be filled. And the way you fill it up is based on your thoughts, your actions, your emotions. Right? So if you carry on the emotions from yesterday into today, then your brain tells your cells and your body to react the same. So if you have a continual problem or issue in your physical, mental, or spiritual lives, then we got to look at it. What are you waking up to every morning? Are you changing your thoughts? When you first wake up, are you saying, hey, what is it I want to better myself with today? How can I see the world differently than I saw it yesterday? I choose to have a better life today than I did before. Now, all that starts with a thought, right? So it's important that in order to manifest the things to you, you must be receptively real. What do I mean by that? Receptively real, anything you focus on, right? And I'm stealing this from Jack Kerouac in one of his books, The Dharma Bums, I think it was called. He talks about an orange, and that the orange doesn't know you're around. And I'm paraphrasing all this, right? is that you're the one who thinks of the orange. The orange doesn't exist. The fruit, an orange, doesn't exist until you focus upon it, right, out of the no thing, and then you focus more and more on what this orange is, and this orange appears. Right? You manifest an orange, be it from a tree that you see in a forest or whatever, or that you are in a grocery store. You focus on this orange all day long. And all day long, orange, the color orange pops up. Someone comes up, hey, orange, you glad you're living a good life today? I know that's funny, but we manifest orange in many ways. But if it's an orange, a fruit orange that you want, then we're going to go ahead and manifest that orange. But that orange won't come to you until you're ready to receive that orange, until you're the open receptacle vessel. When we are open every day to receive, we're going to receive or become real to something that we're going to manifest or attract to us via electromagnetism. The more your thoughts are, which are electric, start thinking of something you want, and you wholeheartedly choose for that to be in your life, and you are committed or dedicated or vow, any of these type words to it, then it's going to come to you. And once it comes to you, then as you have it within your possession in the exoteric world, from the esoteric world, from your thoughts, the vibrations of that color, the thing, came to you. And once that thing came to you, then it acknowledges that you are real. Does that make sense? Because how do you know who you are? Where did you originate from? Do you know that you're here? How do you know you're here? Right? Oh, I can hit myself, I feel pain. But what is pain? Pain is a thought receptor. Right? Most of us are trying to see what's beyond the now. We're trying to predict or see or worry about the future, or we're stuck in the past loops. But all those things are happening right now. And as we unfold them constantly, if our thoughts are the same, then we're focusing on creating that orange or that situation, right, that you may say you don't want. But as long as you think the same thoughts and focus on the same thoughts, be it the past or the future, then you're going to manifest the same thingness in your life. Is this making sense? I hope so, guys. If not, leave me a comment. And so we know we're real when we can create things in our reality. So when I manifest that money or that person or that place in my existence, and I have it, then I know that I am here. We only know that we're here because we have something that registers, a sense. Right? Everything that you see, hear, taste, touch, your reality is based on senses. Right? Your senses are limited at best, and then we fill in the blanks with our perceptions. So most of our reality or our perceptions are based off of a limited 5 senses. But when we start going within in the esoteric realm and the vibrational realm of where we're the ones who are starting a thought, which comes in waves, and when focused upon become materialized, it becomes a material, right? As long as if you don't focus on it, then it's immaterial. It doesn't come to fruition, or if you want it in the manifested world. I can leave it in the thought realm, and that's fine, but if I choose it, I'm going to take it to the next step by amplifying it, by focusing on it, and it becomes real. Thought things are real because you think of them. Anything that you call or see as reality in your life is because you thought of it. Your thought became a thing, or your thought thing. Everything is a thought thing. Everything had a thought prior to it becoming a thing. So who you are before you became this version of you, you came and are still coming from the stream. And this stream is just the waveform from that. Now, where did you originate? Where did the thought thing originate from? From that. We talked about that in previous videos. Go back and watch those videos, or I'll try to put a link in on this video. So we begin to take responsibility for the first thing we think. And the best habit to get into is to, when you wake up in the morning, is to think the thoughts that you want to become things. Whatever you want to become, whatever you want to have in your life. Begin to think of that thing. And again, a thing is a person, place, or a thought. And if you want that thought to manifest, via your voice, your pen writing on a pad, or your fingers on a computer keyboard, right? Or just speaking to someone, it becomes a thing and it manifests. And then it's received by other people, places, and things. Is this making sense, guys? So let's move on to the next one. So we've been talking about those thoughts, right? And taking responsibility for those thoughts. Because you can try to fix or heal the past or the future that hasn't happened yet in future generations, but those are your thoughts or no one else's thoughts. What you think about your life, you're the one who has brought those things or that thought thing into reality. You are the receptacle for that reality, that thought. And again, if you don't like the thought, change the thought. And the way you change the thought is by understanding how you perceive things. Does that make sense? So if you're perceiving things from someone else's thoughts, then you're going to perceive life from those cultural thoughts, those tribal thoughts, those societal thoughts, those religious thoughts, those political thoughts, right? So you become those things. Your reality becomes those things. And so thought, when we want to take responsibility for it, right? Because in essence, we don't exist until we bring something to us, and when we have that thing, we show up. If nothing shows up in your life, then who's not showing up? If you're not receiving the money you're wanting or choosing or committing to, if that lover or that mate, right, or that partner who hasn't showed up, right, it's because your thoughts have not made it real. When it comes into and manifests into the physical realm, you've brought it to you, but the reason it's not shown up is because you haven't shown up. So when you're ready to show up and receive that abundance of money, whatever that is for you, gold, silver, crypto, dollar bills, whatever, right? When you want a lover to show up, then you're showing up, right? Because you've taken full responsibility. So those who get the things in life that they want show up for life. And what you're receiving now is you're showing up in that manner. So if you don't like what you're receiving, then take responsibility that you're the one thinking the thoughts. And where did the thought come from? The thought, you are a thought. Where did you come from? And so when you show up, what thoughts are you showing up with that are going to attract like energy? Making sense, guys? Action. So once we have these thoughts, we got to take action. And so the action, or acting on those ions that I'm bringing in, how do I act? I react openly. What does openly mean? It means I'm vulnerable. What does vulnerable mean? Right? We got to understand what these definitions mean. I'm giving you my definitions, but you got to know what they mean to you. Vulnerability and open means that I'm receptive to receiving more than I am. So each day I wake up, I choose and attract to me to be and show me more of what I am or what I can be. So when I show up in life, or when I show up differently, then I know I'm there. I've created a new reality. Right? Reality is just subjective. It's just an ongoing, unfolding moment. And if I'm stuck in the past and every day I wake up with past thoughts, then my present is going to have the past reality. Make sense? So if I'm an angry person and I wake up the next day and I haven't changed my perceptions and taken responsibility that it's my thoughts, actions, and emotions that are causing my reality, then you're going to have the same repetition day, your Groundhog Day, right? Watch the movie Groundhog Day, you'll know what I mean. So if I'm an angry person right now and I don't change that, then my present unfolding moment is going to be angry. And therefore, my future is going to be angry. So if I want to change my present, which eventually in this linear explanation I'm giving you, if I want to change my future, then I have to change my thoughts from the past. So I can say, you know what? I'm tired of blaming other people for my existence, so I'm going to take responsibility that it's my thoughts about what's happening. And you can say, well, I have DNA, I have all this other stuff in my body, I have cells that have recorded generations of stuff. That's fine, but again, we talked about this where it's your thoughts about what you're perceiving. Right? We don't know what our parents went through. They can tell us their story and their perception, but it's their perception. But I'm not here to ask forgiveness from anyone. I'm not here to beg forgiveness. I'm not here really to forgive myself. Right? And I know that sounds weird because there's nothing to forgive. There's only something to forgive, which means I'm going to give to my future, which again for me is all present, past, present moments all happening at one time. I explained that on the video before. It's all happening at once. But I don't need to forgive because it was my version of that circumstance. Now, if that other person feels guilty or whatever they feel in their reality, then they can come to me and say something, that's fine, but that's for them, it's not for me. Because it was my thought about what happened. Yes, it was an outside influence, but it was my thought. The actions I take about my perception of that thought, that about the thing that happened to me, is on me. I created that thought. They didn't create the thought. And the thought that I created about that thing came from a past example, historical, emotional issue. And I've tied it into what happened now. So if I don't want to repeat my past emotions and create a reality in the future that's the same as now in the past, I need to change my perception about it. And the perception that I change is that it's me who's thinking the thought about what happened to me. Right? So you can forgive yourself, that's fine if you're into forgiveness, but I'm not here to heal. My mechanical body's not here to heal, it's repairing itself. And again, we talk about repair as being re-impair. Right? I need my transmitters and my receivers synchronized together. I need them open. Right? My receiver opens up and my transmitter transmits. I receive what's inside and I transmit what's out, and then I transmit it outside of me, which is electromagnetism that then attracts to me people, places, and things from my thoughts. So I'm the one thinking the thoughts that are going to attract to me what it is. So if I'm constantly attracting the same problems, it's because I haven't owned that problem. We'll talk about this in more episodes later. But for now, I'm the one that needs to take responsibility for that thought. And why am I thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking? Because if I'm thinking those thoughts and taking energy up to think those old thoughts, I have the same power then to change my thought into a better thought, a prosperous thought, an abundance thought. Does that make sense? So the abundance thought, the new perspective, is going now to attract to me new abundance. Making sense, guys? I hope so. In order to take action, you have to be disciplined. You have to gain more knowledge, and that knowledge leads to more discipline. And we'll talk about this more, like I said, in the next episode, to figure out what it is we're going to do with our life, right? And we may not know what direction we're headed. We may be directionless, right? And even though we may know what direction we're going in, we just necessarily don't know what we're doing while we're going in that direction, right? If that makes sense. But again, next video we'll talk more about that. But for right now, we need to take action. Action is purposely changing your thoughts, taking responsibility for your thoughts, right? And doing something with it. Doing something is what's going to give you the new behavior, right? And lastly, we have the thought, action, and emotion. We have the emotion. Right? And so this emotion, right, is emoting ions. How do we move the old energy out? I don't focus on moving the old energy out. I focus on moving new energy in. How do I move new energy in? By taking action. What action? Create new thoughts. To stand up and take responsibility that it's me who's been thinking these thoughts about anything, outside influence or internal. They're me. I've been thinking these thoughts. Me and me only. Make sense? So that's action. And that leads to me moving old energy out. But I don't focus on the old or healing, because your thoughts are starting out that you're still not 100% full or fully operational. How do I operate these ions? Right? I'm operating from a less than lack mentality if I'm trying to heal or I'm in trauma all the time. Right? The trauma happened, but our thoughts, it does hardwire, and it is hard to get out of that sometime, and that's why we do the alternative. We do seek out professional help and alternative help. Like I said before, ayahuasca and all this other type stuff, right? We're going to have the trauma, but it's how we perceive that trauma. Because once the trauma's over, then it's over. The only thing that brings it back into reality is us thinking about it over and over and over. I'm not saying this is easy to get over. Don't start email or commenting down below, right, negative stuff, I'm trying to show you that it is a thought and cycle. And it's up to you to take action, right, to vent those emotions, right, to look at the energy in motion. Who's putting the motion in your body every day? Energy doesn't stay in your body. It keeps flowing through this body. This body is a body of energy. And if you're believing that energy stays in the body or stuck, it doesn't. Not from my perspective. And I'm not saying your perspective's wrong. I'm saying my perspective is that energy is flowing. The same river, you can't touch the same river twice, as the old saying goes. And so my body, it's a river. And it's always moving. When I wake up, it's an empty vessel. Again, what I put into that cup in the morning will then manifest and focus. If I focus on it, manifest into what it is I'm going to become that day, or what I'm going to experience. So as I begin to understand and take responsibility that my body doesn't hold on to pain. And I'm talking emotional pain, spiritual pain type stuff, right? Pain is just electricity flowing through the body, right? Your muscles are in pain, but that's neither good nor bad if you're working out, right? Pain increases the muscles, right? Things have to be torn down in order to be built up. So what's being torn down is our old belief system. That's why pain happens to you emotionally, because it's trying to get you to look at it differently, break it down, look at it from a different perspective, and then change the thoughts around it. And the thoughts that you change is taking responsibility that it's you who's been thinking the thoughts all along. So when I want to emote these ions, I got to focus on that I need to make a choice. Do I want to move this old energy out? Because if not, then when I wake up in the morning, I repeat the same thought so that my body then will feel that trauma, drama, or whatever's in your body. Emotionally speaking, right? This is emotion. Emotion is emoting ions, right? It's just electricity. But that electricity's moved out of your body. The river's moved on. But if you think the same thought when you wake up in the morning, fill your cup up with that same thought, when you fill this vessel up with the same thoughts of yesterday, then your body's going to, again, reroute and create that thought in your body, and you'll feel the pain there again. But it's you, the pain's gone. That night when you fall asleep, your body dumps it all. But if you wake up with the same thoughts, then your body's going to feel the same pain, because you created a new pain. It's not an old pain, it's a new pain. Is that making sense? It's the same old pain in your head, but it's a new pain because it wasn't there once the body dumped it, once the river flowed. The river doesn't flow back up, it keeps going, new energy comes in. So everything that you were is washed away. It's light, it's energy. And so all those sins, if you will, have washed away. But when you wake up, the discipline, the action that you're going to take is say, you know, what new thoughts can I do to make myself better? I want to open up to new ideas, new thoughts, new people, abundance, prosperity, love, right? But you got to define what each one of these things mean, right? What is abundance? Abundance is abundance. I shake my buns around. That's my dance. No. Abundance, what do you mean? There's abundance of crap that can happen in your life, or an abundance of money. You see what I'm saying? So you need to understand energetically what each one of these words that you're using means and how does it flow, because it's just energy and motion. So if you don't understand that the energy in that word that's embedded with someone else's meaning, then that's what's going to become your meaning. So we have to strip away everything, and you have to reprogram, right? Not anyone else, just you, and say, you know what? I need to look at this differently. I can look at this thought with eyes of beauty, with a heart that's open and vulnerable. Make sense? All right. Well, that was my rant for today, guys. Hopefully, if you liked it, great. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Definitely, I'm seeing a lot of people starting to watch the video, but if you can, hit that like button. I like to see the like buttons come up, and if you're not, I understand. If you don't like it, leave me a comment. How else do you want me to explain things? I can simplify things a little more, or I can make them more intense or more focused, right? So I'm just going to leave you with whatever it is you want tomorrow to be, then focus on that today, and take responsibility for the thoughts, actions, and emotions your way. Thanks, guys.